This is the all-new Absolute 47 Fly. It replaces the Absolute 45 Fly, so it's now the smallest boat that Absolute has in its Flybridge range. Prices start from just over €680,000, excluding VAT. So let's have a look on board. Now, there's the option to have a hydraulic passerelle. This one doesn't have it, so we're using a fixed one. This boat does have a hydraulic bathing platform. Into the cockpit. And even though it is the smallest boat in the Flybridge range, it's good to see they've given it proper stern gear. So as well as a fair lead and a cleat, you have an electric winch as standard, which is particularly useful when you're berth stern to in the med like we are today. There is an electric cockpit shade, which goes up and down behind the seating here to allow you some privacy and a bit of shade in the cockpit. And then it's nice that they've got material up here in the ceiling, not just fiberglass. And this is a nice touch. The lighting, indirect, stylish, inset LED lighting, and as you can see, it runs all the way through into the saloon and down to the lower deck, in fact. Moving into the saloon, aft galley layout, something that Absolute's been doing for some time. Little touches here and there, like the tap. They're full of these boats. They just do these little things that set it apart a touch. Talking of that, we have this here, which is an electric window that comes down, and then once you slide the cockpit doors all the way over, you can flip over this little section here, and you have a mini bar area, and it opens the galley up to the cockpit completely. Opposite you have your fridge and freezer. They're a good size, no complaints there. And then we have dedicated storage underneath this sofa here, which is clever because you have limited amount of storage in the galley because of its size. You have easy to access storage down here under the settee, and we even have some down here, and that is where you find your crockery all held in place properly as it should be. Very clever little piece of design, that. Then you're up into the main dinette. This table goes up and down, drops down. You can adjust the height. You can also, of course, fold out these leaves to make it a little bigger. And they've moved the position of the window. This was further forward on the 45. This electric high-low window is now amidships, which makes sense because it's in line with the seating where people are going to be sitting and feel the benefit of the breeze. The lower helm, very good. Absolute do great helm stations. They look good, they're ergonomically sweet. Most of the information, be it navigation or boat information, is included here in the glass bridge system. You have the Volvo pentascreen down here as well, which of course is configurable. There are some proper buttons for regularly used items, and these quite smart sort of Mercedes A-Class-esque vents, which actually blow out a useful amount of cold air. A lot of the time they're completely useless on boats, but they work well. And good to see the throttles and the joystick grouped together well there. This chair, fully adjustable, and a bolster function. You're not going to struggle to get comfortable there. Then we're out via this side door, which is a good size in itself actually. You can get out of there nice and easy as the skipper. Move forward to the bow, where you have more than just your sun pad. You have a sort of sun pad section, but you also have a table which obviously pops up. It's clamped down at the moment, but that will pop up to give you more comfortable seating space. And then we're back into the saloon, where we find a switchboard, so to speak. Got 240 here, 12 volt control. You can switch over between generator and shore power here, clearly labelled, easy to get to, nicely done. Now we're down to the accommodation deck, and we'll go straight into what is the master cabin. Slightly unusual, even for a Flybridge of this size, to have the master forward, but when you come in here you see why. Because they've angled the bed, it means they can push right into the extremes of the bow, so you can walk all the way around this big double bed, storage underneath, which is nice and easy to get to. You don't have to lift any mattresses, you can just use those drawers. And yes, they look a little bit odd from the outside, but from in here, these huge bow windows, I mean, they do make a difference. The natural light in here is superb, given the fact you don't have a skylight, you just have an escape hatch, but loads of natural light in here. And genuinely, when you're lying in bed, you can look out the window. Works really nicely. Obviously, you've got your TV mounted on the wall there. And a really nice ensuite. Separate shower cubicle with a proper glass door. Storage solutions are very smart as well. They've even bothered to make this little slot around the pipe work so that you can use this drawer underneath the sink. A bit more storage behind the mirror. No space goes to waste. Cleverly designed boats, these. And another point about that would be the use of sliding doors. Quite simple, but it does save you a lot of space. It means that you go into this cabin and the door isn't gobbling up a lot of your living space when it's open, tucked away there, and then you're into the starboard guest cabin. It's a twin. There's a deck cushion between the beds there, as you can see. But it's got a big window of its own. It's got an opening porthole. It's got a bit of hanging storage behind this mirror here. Good cabin. But the best guest cabin is the port one. This is really like a mini master cabin. For a boat of this size, you just don't expect to get three such good cabins. Headroom's pretty good, especially on this side. But once you get onto the other side of the bed, it does drop down a bit, but then so does the floor. So you don't have to stoop too far. Just want to be careful about this. That looks like it could catch a few people out. Probably want to put some padding around that. Absolute do in the long run. And one really nice feature is through what is a sort of secret door. Close it. Secret door. Not quite a walk-in wardrobe, but not far off, with a hanging rail, auto illumination, drawers. Really luxurious touch for a boat of this size. A mini bureau here as well. Lovely cabin, really is. The accommodation is a standout feature. But it's enough of the inside. We will head up onto the Flybridge, because that's another really good area. No teak here, thank goodness. When it's this hot, you do not need teak on the deck. But it feels big, it feels a really good size. You have dedicated sunbathing space forward. This is a nice little seat here because you can recline in it, but it's also good when the boat's moving along. It means another person can sit alongside the two people at the helm. And again, the helm station is so good, specifically the driving position. Full adjustment on the seat, it bolsters. See how the throttles are out on a plinth? It means that you don't have to lean forward a touch to use them. The wheel's fully adjustable. The helm is unfussy, it's clean. It's a real lesson in how to do a good helm station. Absolutely get it right every time. Then we have the dinette. There's enough seating there, but you could easily fit two directors' chairs this side, so you can get two more people sitting there. Then we have the wet bar, isotherm fridge here, ice maker on this side. And we talk about the little touches that Absolute put in to make the difference. Again, you've got the pop-up tap. But what I really like is, yes, this lid is smoothly coated and really nice finish there, but they've also gone to the trouble of putting a Corian top atop of that. Doesn't seem like much, but again, visually it looks a bit better and it feels higher quality too. Now, here we are in the engine room. This boat's got a pair of Volvo Pentas IPS 650s, that's 480 horsepower per side for a top speed of 28.2 knots we got today. Cruising speeds, most comfortable at sort of 22, 23 and very quiet as well. Now this is a really good engine room installation. You can get around all sides of both engines, daily service checks are really easy, very easy to get to the dipstick and the water filter. Both sides of the engines, this is the pod drive. Again, very easy to get to for maintenance purposes. It's crouching headroom in here, but it's not too bad. Got your fuel tanks there with the fuel filters attached. And if we look around here, it's nice to see that everything is very clearly labelled. So you can quickly check a pipe or some wiring and you know exactly what it's doing. Air conditioning unit down on this side, that's working hard today. All in all, a very tidy installation.